What's the best way to accurately estimate everything you're eating whenever you're eating out?
Can you stay on track at a restaurant, at a friend's house, or anywhere but at home?
If you've ever wondered how the heck to stay on track when you aren't the one cooking, then this edition of the First In Q+A with J&A is for you. My name is Jonathan Montgomery.
And I'm Ann Montgomery.
And we're the co-founders of First In Nutrition.
If you want to learn more about what coaching and community can do for you, head on over to firstinnutrition.com.
And if you're ready to find out more about accurately estimating while eating out, you're in the right place. Let's get to it. Check. Okay, so Scott asks real quick, can you brief how to best estimate grams or ounces when eating out? Absolutely. This is a great question. How you're going to best estimate grams or ounces when eating out comes down to a couple things. Your best bet is going to be to not estimate. Your best bet is going to be have a little travel scale with you, and you can either negative weigh it or, ask for 2 plates, shuffle it over, and do the precision approach. Again, this is going to depend on circumstances, priorities, progress, all those things. There are definitely occasions when pulling out the old food scale is probably not going to be the most well received.
Now, I have to be honest. I think that I have pulled out a travel food scale in probably 99% of situations. I can't remember a time when I was like, ooh, this is not a okay situation for that.
But I can definitely find times when you might not want to do it.
Yes.
And let's say the point of the meal isn't the meal. Maybe the point of the meal is a business situation, an event where you don't want to be the focus, something like that, and you may not want to do this. So how you're going to best estimate, easy for me to say, grams versus ounces is going to depend. What I used to tell everybody when we'd bring patients into the hospital back in the fire department days, and there was one hospital in particular that really always wanted to ask a patient's height and weight. And I would wheel my patient in and they would ask me their height and weight, and I would say, I have no idea. I'm not a very good carny. I maintain that approach when it comes to estimating my food. I'm not a great carny. Like, I'm not going to win the ball toss, the ring toss, the little shooter game. I'm not going to win those things. I'm not going to win those carnival games. And I'm not going to win the one where I got to guess your height and weight. It's just not a skill I'm really good at.
Yeah.
To be fair.
To be fair.
I did actually win estimating Big Mo in task force training, the giant concrete block. So I was pretty good at estimating that, go USAR, but doesn't help. Doesn't help with height and weight, doesn't help with estimating food. So, Scott, here's how you can rig the game a little bit. Choose foods that are easy to estimate. So what I mean by that is choose foods that you have a degree of familiarity with, right? If you're cooking chicken breast all the time at home and you're using your scale and you're prepping it out and you know what 56 grams looks like and you know what 6 ounces looks like, you're going to be able to see that, right? If you choose foods that are not calorically dense, then estimating gets a whole lot easier. What I mean by that is a potato comes in a serving. Some potatoes are bigger than others, but a potato comes in a serving. Mashed potatoes becomes a whole lot harder to estimate, not because it's not a potato anymore, but because 1, it's physically mashed, and 2, because of the butter and the sour cream and the bacon and the chives and the duck fat, whatever they add into it to make it delicious. The other thing is if you order foods that aren't very calorie dense, like a steamed vegetable, does it matter if you were off by an ounce?
No.
Probably not as much as it would like a stick of butter or a ribeye, right?
Same at that point.
Right, yeah, it pretty much is the same thing. So choosing foods that are easier to estimate or that have less consequences. Choosing foods with singular ingredients. Steak and potato, chicken and rice, fish and broccoli. These things are a whole lot easier to estimate.
This is also a time when you can go back and you can look and use commercial restaurants for this too. So if you go to the mom and pop Italian place down the street and they don't have nutrition information. They've been in this business for 60 years and the whole family cooks at the restaurant. They have no idea how much they're using in anything. Start looking at commercial restaurants. So Carrabba's Italian Grill is something we have in Florida. I don't know if it's across the nation. They're a commercial Italian restaurant. So I will pull an entry from them with their nutritional information and use it. Maybe I'll go to Yelp and I'll look up Carrabba's and I'll look at the serving size and say, well, it's the same as the one I'm eating. I would go to a commercial restaurant, something that's recognized nationwide if you can, and use that as your basis for estimation, because we like to tell ourselves sometimes that portion sizes are a little smaller than they are, especially when you're looking at like a giant plate filled with ribeye and you go, oh, that looks like 6 ounces, and you weigh it and it's 18.5 ounces. Like, that's a pretty massive calorie difference. So I would try to find entries that match close enough to the entree that you're eating.
The other thing you can do is use your resources, right? Ask the server.
Yeah.
Hey, how big is this steak? How big is this fish? How big is your serving of pasta? They're not necessarily going to know these answers because they care about your physical goals or your health. They're going to know these answers because of their bottom line. Their profit is dependent on knowing how much is on that plate. So ask the chef, hey, how many ounces is this? And you can convert that to grams if you'd like. 1 ounce equals 28 grams. You can look at the menu. A 6-ounce filet is a 6-ounce filet.
Yeah.
You can rig the game in your favor by ordering foods that are easy to estimate and that you have more familiarity with than trying to figure out what's in the chicken cacciatore or the 47 ingredient casserole. For me, I like to play the game and I like to rig the game and set myself up to win by ordering foods that are easier to estimate when I'm out, and then finding what's amazing on the menu and making it at home when I can control it. Yeah. And the more you rig that game at home and the more you make these ingredients, the more familiarity you get with what goes into these dishes, so you get better at estimating when you go out. So let us know if that helps. A couple little hacks you can do between actually bringing the scale with you to asking questions and getting some good answers. So I hope that helps. If you stuck around this far, thanks for hanging out with us. If you like what you heard or think someone else might dig it, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share, or whatever the cool kids say.
If you want to learn more about First In or hear more from our family, you can find us on the socials at First In Nutrition.
And if you're looking for actionable ways to put yourself first, head over to fieldnotes.firstinnutrition.com to join the Field Notes faction for weekly tools and tactics to keep yourself on the path to progress. Because the people that depend on you the most
Deserve you at your best.